Hello and welcome. It's been a long time. Testing out some settings here, just checking some things. How are you doing, all handy? I'm just going to work on some stuff today. Got a little project going. Let's see. Let's clean some of this up. I'm listening to some blues. I don't know what you're listening to, but hopefully it's something good. This code is a little bit of a mess at the moment. It's very young. I'm using Snafu. Let's review what's going on here. The goal of this is to take data that is mutated in SQLite and to be able to send it to other SQLite instances so that the data will be replicated. This service would sit right next to something that's using SQLite, and that service would have a VFS plugin that's inside of SQLite that would connect to this. And as I said before, this code is very young. I've also been playing around with some of the Cloudflare crates that are available and trying to simply centralize around them. The Foundations crate, uh, their Pingora crate for building proxies, just to have consistent, configurable, usable applications. I think I want to extract just about all of this out. What do I need service info for? Telemetry, okay. Anything else? I don't think so. Okay, so we'll pull service info along with setting up telemetry into its own place. We will return the CLI piece. Let's see. Extract into variable, all of it. Let's just call that init. What do we want it to return? CLI? Wow. Let's see, settings on this. Let's give that a call. Actually, I'm not even sure if it needs to be async. With context, new. I thought telemetry might need it with the initialization of the telemetry driver, maybe. Let's try without. Part of the code that I've already written is to checksum databases in a specific directory. This is useful for maintaining consistency and, well, rather detecting when things have broken consistency. As we start to stream pages of the database from one place to another and apply them, we want to ensure that the database is in a consistent state. So the checksums will be streamed along with the data, and we'll be able to know what the checksum is for the page that changed and for the entirety of the database. If everything goes well, in the end, we wouldn't need this. It's CPU overhead, and I'm trying to make this as light as possible. We're going to skip the FIFO bits for now. I do want this log line. My logging changed recently. I'm trying to use the foundation's logging. Actually, it's not like that. Let's see. Telemetry. So we can add fields to all of the logs. I had seen this before. I didn't quite grok it. Let's see what happens here. Last field wins. Okay. And we can redact things, which is great. So it's best to use the key values. So we separate it with a semicolon and then add key value pairs. Seems simple enough. I am alive, Zach Rip. How are you? It's been a while. It's been, goodness, 2 years. I'm just doing this for fun. To relax. Escape the world for a moment or two. I wonder if I didn't see whether or not this would work. They want key value pieces, but it would be nice if you could just give one like so, and it would make that the key and the value. Let's see. No, we're not doing cluster management. Data plane. Here we go. Oh, I missed a bracket. In the wrong place. So if this is a dry run, we're supposed to bail. We could bail later. We'll be returning CLI. Setting up telemetry shouldn't hurt. It does feel a little dirty though. Setting up telemetry separate from this. Let's extract this to something else. It's interesting. If I select from top down, do I get a different result? No, I don't. If I select the entire lines, I get a whole new set of options. That is so strange. I'm just looking for extract this into a function. I wonder where that went. Normal. Click to restart and update. Really? Not interested. It's probably because I have a syntax error somewhere. This needs service info and CLI. Let's put it back. Okay. We have init. We bail if we need to. It's like we use fat arrow to separate them. FDB dir. And what does this? Path buff value is not satisfied. Fascinating. Is that the same? Shack-p data plane. Why is it complaining about path buff value? The trade bound path buff value is not satisfied. It's not implemented for path buff. Value isn't. Oh, I see. Value is not implemented for path buff. Of course. Where is value coming from? Slug? All right, so it probably wants a stir or something equivalent. Checksum everything. Create the FIFO to receive data. Piece I'm more interested in is down here. So the way this will work, I have a proxy here that does health checks to the applications, but it also does status. It listens to a status stream to the data plane. So when the data plane says that it's initializing, the proxy will not send requests to the application. The application doesn't know the status of the replication of the databases, but the data plane does. So when this is starting up, before it itself knows, hold on a sec, Nightshade dude, you can't hear or stay. Glad to see you're back streaming. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Okay. So data plane will know the status of replication and can tell the proxy not to send traffic to the application if data is syncing, if it's having to load a database across the network or something more interesting. So data plane will say, hey, proxy, I'm initializing. I'm not the leader. Leader's interesting. I eventually want to break this out to have the leaders separate for different chunks of databases. But for now, there will be one leader or writer and many readers. The system is definitely going to be oriented towards like a 10% write, 90% read kind of profile. I don't even know what this is. What is this? So this will be, we're going to receive here status watch, which is a receiver, this Tokyo Sync Watch receiver of status responses. Maybe we should change that. Status response. Status makes more sense. We're already using that though. Naming is hard. Let's leave it. So we give it a receiver of status response. which should be RX. Let's rename that. TX, status response setter, I don't know, sender. So we have our channel. Inside of status service, we're converting that into a watch stream. So we'll only be looking at a stream from the changes of the watch. Expected result status response tonic status. Tokyo stream. Oh, it's a stream of these things. Got it. Got it. That would change things. One, two, three. One too many. Oh. Much better. It's re-exported in tonic. Feel like I should clean that up then. Okay. This type will be incorrect. Well, I thought it would. All right, so we're implementing this interface straight data plane status service. Data plane status service is given to the tonic framework. It asks for status for a specific request. And we are to return a stream. I think this is where we'll discover our stream is not the right kind. Is a watch stream will not wrap it in okay, or excuse me, results with a status error. We don't need to do anything with request. Let's ignore that. Yep. Tonic response. Interesting. Server streaming service response. Watch stream doesn't have a clone? Oh, interesting. We should pass in the receiver then and create a watch stream later. Let's change our type here. Well, up here. So we'll take status stream, store that for later. We'll clone status stream, but we will want to watch stream from that. From changes, self.status stream.clone. And in this case, the difference is this result. So we need to map the changes in the stream from one to the other. So this stream should be a receiver of result and errors, or we map it. The rest of the application doesn't care about Tokyo status, or not Tokyo, tonic status errors when setting the state of the application. The rest of the app just wants to set it. It's only here where we start to send the status out that we care about errors. Let's see if we can map this somehow. So we have a watch stream. Can we map a watch stream? Implement stream. That might make our our return type a little hairy. And if we really care, we could wrap that in another type. Let's check the docs on that. Okay, create a channel. We have a receiver. Send sync unpinned. Okay. Tempted to write our own wrapper. Build our own version of this. It's not very much. So in features, we have stream. There are, let's see. Let's go to the features crate. Where's our ext on stream? Stream ext. So we can filter. We can map. So we can map those to this. We just need to pull in futures or futures light. Futures util, is it? Oh, async. Oh, futures light does have stream ext. Let's do that. Well, what would that give us? So we would map. Map would then have this type. It should be okay. Wait, futures util. Mismatch types. Watch stream result. Let's say expected response result. Oh. I misunderstood that. It should be a stream of results to a status response. Stream results to status response. We gave it a result of a stream to status response. Oh. Is this the wrong map? What map is this? This is tonic. We should not be using the one from tonic. We should be using the futures util. There we go. Wrapped stream. Let's update that. Now we have a response. Are we closer? We have a tonic response. Ah, yes. Now this is just our return type. Watch stream. We added the map. Watch stream. Status response. Did we not add a result in there? It's a T back. T, wrapped stream. Status response. All right, what are we expecting? We're expecting futures util, colon. Wait, is that it? Status stream is a result. Say result, response, status stream. Status stream is a watch stream. Result, response. Okay. Maybe I'm old school. I just find this so much easier to read. I expected response. Great. We have a response. Well done, us. And then it found a map, which is expected. We just added a map. They want the result here. Yes. So we need to have that mutated up ahead. So if we did that and removed the map, I didn't want to do this, but it's probably simpler. Hmm. I think part of the complexity comes from using this Tokyo watch. When you have a watch, you can put something in the sender, and then everybody gets notified. You can turn this into a stream on the receiver. You can turn the receiver into a stream for all changes or only for updates or differences. I do not plan to have to deduplicate these, which is what I've set up for. So maybe we just move away from watch and go with broadcast. Or MPSC. I don't think I need more than one consumer, which watch is great at supporting more than one receiver. Same with broadcast. See, we could use an unbound receiver and map that. The receiver that implements stream. We still have the issue that the content inside of the stream has to be wrapped in the result. So maybe this would not work. So we would have to map up ahead. Well, I'm going to stop the yak shaving on this and just leave it. That will have broken main. Let's go fix this. Done. we need working software more than we need perfect software. All right. So there's this piece. What are we looking for? The status service. Yes, the status service. Gonna grab some water. Just a moment. Okay. So now that we have a service, or rather a server, kid incoming, just a moment. They've come bearing candy. Received 2 single piece Kit Kats, a 3 Musketeers, and a Snickers. All in all, I think it's maybe a gram of candy. You got to keep the blood sugar up, you know. I don't actually eat a lot of sugar anymore. All right. Where were we? We have the server. It's constructed. Now we have to start it listening. We also have some other pieces that we wanted to play well with. And I've been toying with this this idea that you just collect all the features you want to run and run them all in it could be a join set, it could be unordered futures. There was actually a very interesting bug I saw recently in futures util, or rather futures. It had to do with large numbers of futures and performance. Was it a small number of futures in futures unordered? I think it was a small set of futures. It's closed, but let's see. Is there anything interesting in here? Unsoundness in futures unordered. Interesting. I was browsing through the docs. Okay. Allows you to push a value that is not send plus sync and use poll next to retrieve it from another thread. Okay. Well, we just won't do that. Anyhow, and that led me to the this type inside of Tokyo. Tokixio? I spelled that wrong. Okay, Tokyo. I think it's a join set. And a collection of tasks spawned on a Tokyo runtime. Great. You can spawn tasks. Right. You can build a task, join all, which is all of them that are currently in the set. One thing that you can't do from here is create a task without using spawn. You can't create a future somewhere else and then add it to the join set. because the join set operates on tasks. I'm sorry, it's not. Yeah, operates on futures, but futures that, well, I guess you could, couldn't you? You could just spawn the future. I was going to say it operates on tasks, but a task is really a future. So you could create a future and then just spawn it inside of the join set. Maybe we'll do that. I like that. Interesting. Back to Zed. All right. Let's just create a join set first. Let join set equals join set. That's interesting. Insert. I do find the autocomplete interesting. It's like this, that here is what I was thinking, but it's not possible. It doesn't exist. I find I think this is a Copilot autocomplete, and it does pretty well. It saves me a lot of typing, but it also makes me think more about whether or not something is real. So, join set.spawn is what we want. Or do we want spawn on? We get an abort handle, which we won't use. Is this a hallucination? Hey, Mofree, how are you? I'm listening to blues and jazz. All right. Spawn local. I almost want to use a local set. I'm tempted to just use one thread for this application, not have more than one thread. I don't think it would be needed. Although I could be wrong. I am going to be using FIFO. Let me think about that. We can optimize later as we need. But I do want to try to keep this very thin. So we'll have a join set spawn. We will pass in, let's say serve. And what is this? This is going to use the same name. Say status server. Okay, we will give it that future. And spawn gives us an abort handle. I don't think we want. We won't be using it to cancel the task. So we have that set up. Let's see, private networking snafu. Where did I get this? Oh, is this from environment error? Okay. Let's go add this private networking error. Hey, Sudo. How are you? Welcome to the future. You're not even on drugs. Yeah. Okay. Private networking error. That gives us the snafu. Private networking. Snafu. Great. Incoming. We need to figure out what incoming is here. So, where incoming I is a stream of results of IO, where IO is async read write. Oh, I see. So we need a listener and potentially a listener wrapped in a stream. One of these other cool little streams I've been playing with. Let's say Tokyo stream, a TCP listener stream. I think gives us just what we were looking at. It gives us a result of a stream or error, which is result of a stream, which is IO. Right? This looks like a stream or error. Great error. Who knows on that one? I think I've used this before. See, cluster management. I did. Data archive. So we bind and then set up the stream. Okay. Well, we already did the private network listen piece. Just going to grab this. Standard IO error. I'm actually targeting to push this code onto fly.io. And the reason I don't just look up, excuse me, the reason I don't simply specify the IP I want it to bind to is because it might be different on different machines. So let's see if I can find the docs on this to explain it. I want environment. 6P naming. Here we go. Pure internal. Okay, here. When deploying a fly machine, we alias the 6PN address of the machine to fly local 6PN, which means that if I want to bind to, it's not localhost, but whatever the private networking interface is, then I have to resolve this to bind to it. Otherwise, I'll just bind to everything or the wrong thing, and it wouldn't be available from the other machines. That's the reason we're doing a lookup and then binding to the result of the lookup. All right, we need a bind snafu. What error is this? I think it's an IO error. Oh my goodness, look at that. Well, that's the future of autocomplete, right? Now I look at it, make sure it's correct. Saved me some typing. Okay. This here is cool. I want to be able to use more of this. We can get into that later, though. So we do the bind. Private network listener. Get rid of those. Wait. Did I need those? Status, okay. See, here's the status server. Ah, I did, okay. But this, there. So now we have a status server. We're tossing it in there. It's not mutable. Right. Now we have to pull that. We do have this join handle. I don't know where this is coming from. Oh, from our FIFO events. Let's change this to let FIFO future equal that. Then in our join set, we will add it. FIFO future. Oh. To be a feature that resolves to result unit of error, but it resolves to result unit error. FIFO error and tonic transport error have similar names, but are actually distinct types. Agreed. I agree. So this one, we'll probably need to map that error type. Okay. Regardless, I want this one. We await return error of this type of error, which should be, let's make that a FIFO error. Do we have FIFO? We do have a FIFO error. Fine. Okay. So now this is our error type. We don't need that. Oh wait, I just added that. My mistake. The trait error compat is not implemented for tonic transport error. Tonic transport error? What does this have to do with tonic transport error? Line 114, FIFO. FIFO error. Fascinating. Is it because of the join set? No. It's not even getting to that part. Data plane FIFO. Seems like the right one. Not find struct variant or union type FIFO snafu. What did we call it? FIFO error. Oh, but it's transparent. Let's do a display on this. There we go. Okay, so the issue was transparency. Interesting. Was I using FIFO snafu somewhere else in this file? Nope. Okay. Error and tonic transport error have similar names, but are distinct types. Great. We've wrapped one in our error type. Let's wrap the other one. So this returns a future, right? It's async, where it will wrap, well, it will return tonic transport error. Okay. Let's do this. Let's await dot with context. And this is it's a bit of a tonic one. Let's see, what do we have here? Wow, error serving, why not? Tonic serve error. It's almost a little creepy. Did we just not change the type? Error and tonic transport error have similar names, but are distinct types. Agreed. With context should have changed the so, Expected one argument, but found two? Be a future that resolves to this. Huh. Well, that's a 5 foot. Oh. Oh, I'm doing the wrong one. This should have been a wrapper around the status server. Goodness. Async. Status server dot wait dot with context. And this one just becomes FIFO future. Send is not implemented for. Send is not implemented for. Dyn standard error plus static. That appears where? Is it because of my errors? Wait, with context, tonic serve snafu. Hmm. Required because it appears in the type db checksum error. Oh, interesting. Here. Does that break everything? Send is not implemented. Okay, so we want send static. With whatever context. Trying to remember why I have this generic. Yeah, 4 months ago. Where do I use this? Is it? It's not directly used. It's used via a whatever. So here, ensure whatever. Not begin exclusive. Okay, yes. We can create specific errors for this. Those two are fine. It's this one here that's more interesting. Memmap2. Yep. Saying, hey, we're going to read this sequentially. And we get an IO error back. Okay. Let's fix some of these. I know it's a little bit of a rabbit hole. Little bit of a rabbit hole. Instead of doing this ensure whatever, which just calls create whatever and returns an error given a condition. If rows changed is 0. Wow. Start exclusive locking mode error. Interesting. Okay. Cannot begin exclusive locking mode. Just looking at the code, rows changed is equal to 0. Could not begin exclusive locking mode. Rows changed. So this would always be 0. 0 rows changed. Why did I even do that? Interesting. So that's not useful. We could just say could not begin exclusive locking mode. Build? Yeah. hallucination. If rows change is equal to 0, do this. Well, we just do else that, move this up, get rid of the return. Okay. Next. Looks familiar. Almost. We need to set that back. This should be end exclusive locking mode. Oh, interesting. We already have an end. It's not used anywhere. Okay. One more with whatever context. So we need to handle this error, which I believe is a standard IO error. With context, memmap, advise, snafu. Okay. So it did that. Let's see if that fixed the other error. Oh, it might have. Let's go look. Data plane. Where were we? Yes, it fixed it. Okay. Well, that's good. Now we should probably do a cargo test -p db checksum. See if that's still okay. Ah, good. Okay. So we've got the join set. I think this join handle, just we've removed it. We've tossed it into the join set. So now we wait for the join set to finish. But what? Join set, how do we do that? Join all? Okay, if any tasks on the join set fail with a join error, then this call to join all will panic and all remaining tasks are canceled. Hmm. So we could just do join next in a loop. Equivalent as a loop, while at some. It's not bad. It does mean that my control C handling has to go somewhere. So if somebody hits control C, we also want that to shut down these other elements. What are we adding? We're saying status server and FIFO future. The status server, we can say serve with incoming with a shutdown if we wanted to do that. But the FIFO future, what could we do here? FIFO listener. Yeah, lots of fix me's and whatnot. We're awaiting data. What do we do if we're awaiting data and we're told to shut down? I think we stop instantly. I like the pattern of just stopping, right? The graceful shutdown is a kill. Because if you plan for that, then it's much easier. So we could keep them split. And if we get a control C, we just leave. Done. What else do we have in join set? Abort all. Let's do it this way. Let's just join set. Was it await all? Join all. This here is just the results. Vector. resultant error. Hmm. Seems good enough. And what do we have here? Oh, a FIFO creator. Okay. This actually compiles. Argo run p data plane. This should fail because we don't have the config. Let's create a config for this. I'm going to put that in. Is it dev one data plane? Oh, caused by Tom will parse error. Wait. Oh, generate. Getting closer. There we go. Now we have data plane. Nice. Let's see. Let's copy some of this. I want this tracing. We could redact keys here. Rate limit false, yada yada. Metrics. False. Okay. Let's run it. Oh. Caused by online one. Really? Expected dot or equals. Nav1 data plane. That's surprising. Oh. Do we need a dash dash here? Okay. appdb init error. Not found. No such file or directory for this path. Perfect. That's good. So in this case, we're setting up our pseudo cluster of machines as machine 1, machine 2, machine 3. So we'll basically have this copied in multiple places. Our application directory is dev/1/appdb. Let's see if it's happy there. Could not begin exclusive locking mode. Okay. I don't know why. Let's see. Before I did /. Let's try that. Does it need to be in double quotes? Hmm. I do have things in here. Let's investigate this a little and see if we can get this running. Here's the diff. It does not look like we changed anything. If that equals that, error. So where does that get called? Let's see. Right here. Check some DBs. We open a database. That's from SQLite. Calculating checksum for that path. Tracing. Yeah. I've been going back and forth between tracing and logging, and I'm trying to figure out how I want this application to do its logging, to do its tracing when I deploy it to fly.io. Fly has, I'd say, a decent logging collection facility, but they don't have a tracing one. So I've considered maybe setting up something like, oh goodness, what was it called? Find it. I think it starts with an S. It's Signoz, Signoz. Having something like that to just collect the data. But we're not using tracing anymore. Interesting. And this is a library. Should a library use foundations? It provides logging. It's a wrapper around slog. So why not? Cluster management, that's fine. Data archive and data plane, I'm interested in. There we go. This is in data plane. Data plane is using tonic. Okay. So we have that. That might work. We'll go into data plane. Let's change our logging to trace here. Just for a moment. Give it a run. All right. Checkpoint complete. Test.db3. Okay, so we ended up completing the checkpoint. So why would this fail? Start exclusive. Locking mode. Let's see, a set locking mode. So the way that this works is I'm trying to say compacted, well, not compact, but to pull all of the pages from the DB's write-ahead log into the database itself before the application starts up. So I'm using some pragmas in order to do that. We should be able to simulate what's going on just by opening up a SQLite console. We might have to do that. I'm not seeing what's gone wrong. DB checksum 342. All right, well, let's try it. So the first thing we do is we open a database. Now this is SQLite, plain old open. Okay. SQLite 3, we're going to open up this one. And here we are. Then we saw this calculating checksum for that, which was here. Set journal mode to write-ahead log. So we do this, query row. Oops, that didn't work. Let's try again. Okay, remove the extra quote, enter. We'll get WAL back. So this here, journal mode is WAL. We get a OK back. Great. So we get an OK there. Then we set locking mode to normal. Pragma. Locking mode equals normal. Now we get normal back. Wait, why did we go, like, we set the journal mode, oh, and the locking mode. Okay. So journal mode as well. Locking mode is normal. We check. We get normal again. And this is sometimes not correct. So if you were in a different locking mode and you set this, you might actually get the previous locking mode back, which is why we ask twice. Oh, ensure locking mode equal, okay. So we've gone through this. Checkpoint the WAL. Okay. Pragma. While checkpoint to truncate. Looks good. Okay, are busy while pages and moved pages. Nothing was moved. Fine. Okay, we passed these checks. While pages and moved pages. This all succeeded. We made it past here. Everything looks fine. There aren't any extra commands we need to run. So that executed just fine. Then we come into set locking mode to exclusive. Pragma locking mode. Is it exclusive? Yes, exclusive. No, it's exclusive. We do a pragma, yes, locking mode, and get exclusive back. Looks beautiful. That succeeds. Now start exclusive mode. We do begin exclusive. That works. What is our rows changed here? We don't get a result on this. Is this where the error was happening? Or was it end exclusive mode? Trent. Could not begin exclusive locking mode. Could not begin exclusive locking mode. So the rows changed is 0. There's nothing happened. Fascinating. SQLite.org. Love the site. Documentation. Search. Begin exclusive. Begin exclusive. Deferred, immediate, and exclusive transactions. Exclusive and immediate are the same in write-ahead logging mode, but in other journaling modes, exclusive prevents other database connections from reading the database while the transaction is underway, which I believe is what we want. We want to prevent other database connections from reading while the transaction is underway. So we're trying to start exclusive mode. And then we check some of the database, check some of the pages. We don't want anybody reading while we do this, or mutating or anything. We just want absolutely, like we want our very own database connection, all ours. Nobody else can have any connections, just us. We're very needy. Reset the locking mode. So we check some, then we reset. So we do that, and apparently that's broken. And then we end by saying commit. And then we set the locking mode to normal. Where'd it go? Oh, here. Normal. Okay. So far, the only thing that looks out of place is when we start exclusive mode, we don't get anything back. Rows changed is 0. And it looks like we were checking for 0 before. So even though we made a code change right here, I don't think we aggravated this. And we do a lot of testing with the pages themselves, but not with the DB piece. Really? Oh, yeah, there they are. What do we do here? Let's see, set locking mode, get locking mode. Start exclusive mode. I just want this thing to run. Right? We could log out what this is. It must be 0 because we're getting this error. Why would we ever expect it not to be 0? Hey, what language am I coding in? I am coding in the Rust programming language. How are you? Yay. Why would we ever expect that to change? I want to see what the docs say in Rusculite about connection execute.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's actually a challenge for every health diver out there.
With positional params, yeah, fine. Named params. And this is just the number of rows that were updated. Rows that were changed or inserted or deleted. Why would we expect begin exclusive to change rows? Maybe I need more than one connection. Let's try that. All right. Just going to open it and open it again and do the same thing. Tables, notes. Looks like I have a notes table. Notes has an ID and text. Select star from notes. All right, quite a bit of stuff. Check some DBs. Set to wow. Write ahead log. Great. Locking mode. Normal. Then we do that again. Or rather, we query what the locking mode is. We still get normal. Insert into notes. Yes. How do we describe it? Oh, we need values. There we go. Just trying to change the database a little, see what happens. All right, we got that. Locking mode is set to normal at the moment. Checkpoint it.
Orbital strike button a little too close to my liking.
Okay, everything's good. Set locking mode to exclusive. Start exclusive mode. Database is locked. Huh. Okay. And again. And it's locked because of this one? Yes. Well, what do we do? An exclusive. Our goal is to basically start an exclusive mode so that nothing else can interfere with the checksumming. So we set up the write-ahead logging in normal locking mode. We checkpoint the DB. An exclusive lock. Why is it that when we set up the exclusive lock, we didn't get exclusivity? It was the other handle, database connection handle that got exclusivity. It's interesting.
I agree.
I think our code is a little broken with start exclusive mode. It seems as though we should begin exclusive until we get to 0. Let me do a commit. Set locking mode to normal.
Magic.
I wonder if we need to start exclusive mode earlier. And what's the difference between locking mode being exclusive and begin exclusive? Let's check on that.
No. That's not good for you. Sorry. I got shot in the face. It's the charts fan.
How to corrupt your database files.
Yeah, it dropped us. Our crew dropped us into the flames.
For locking mode to actually take effect, perform any read or write operation on any table. This is very similar to what I'm doing. I set locking mode to exclusive, begin exclusive.
Right on top of me, silly.
I wonder if these should be done in the same statement or the same connection, right? Like so. We get exclusive back. Meant. So we can do that together. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, you don't like comments either. Okay. No comments for you, SQLite. Normal.
Napalm barrage landed right on top of my turret because the turret shot me in the face as I was trying to bump.
We're not looking for a specific database. We already have that with the connection.
As I was trying to run past.
So
Honestly, it worked.
we set the journal mode, set the locking mode. Normal locking mode.
Yeah.
Start exclusive mode. Well, not commit locking mode. Interesting. Wait, am I getting this backwards? Should I have flipped these? This was an snafu. Predicate. Ensure a condition is true. If it is not, return a stringly typed error message. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I did mess this up when I ported it. So if this is not equal to 0, then we do this. Okay, what else did I change in this file? Lots of log lines. All right, ensure whatever. We already fixed this one.
It is.
Okay, great. Much easier. Looks like in the database we have 11,000 pages that are 4K in size. All right. Now we're missing Reverb app db-dir. Where is that? Reverb app db-dir. db mutation. I don't think that we care for that. We might. Let's see, and notes. It's not an example. It must be this one. So we could probably get rid of this FIFO path. Yeah, we're using that in data plane. Let's change our settings to include that. Oh, we were putting this inside of the Reverb app db-dir. Oh. Which is already here. So we could use the function and just pass this location in. Let's get rid of that. We will pass in the path app db-dir path buff. Great. How do I select all of those? I'm trying to remember. It's not mutable. There.
It has its uses.
Okay. Let's try again. Ooh, it's running. Okay. Cargo run. HTTP proxy. Config. Dev proxy.yaml. There we go. 715209. Long time no see. How are you? It has been a long time. A very long time. Okay. Now, we're getting these connection refused errors, all sorts of stuff. We were listening on 8080, but I don't think that's right. Let's configure this again. Okay. Proxy, it can do two things. It can use a fixed set of hosts, or it can use DNS to do dynamic discovery. Now we are going to use, let's see, the application should run on 8080, which we don't have yet. Unless we use one of the examples, like the notes example. Data plane port, we can use. So let's say that's at 4040. So one, close, data plane shall listen on 4040 for the first one. For the second one, let's copy this file, paste it. Then here, looks like we just increased the zeros to ones. I've been pretty good. I'm glad that you've been doing well. Work's been crazy. Lots of stress at work. Can't really talk about work actually. And yeah, I've been popping into Twitch, some Amusians channels, CM Griffing, and then some, random Twitch streamers that are doing Rust. I just hang out, and I've missed it, so I've felt the draw. I'll probably do more. We'll see. Probably short ones in the mornings before work. Right now, we are working on something that I call Reverb. I like to describe it as a new stack, where it's based on SQLite and data replication happening very quickly. You have applications that are writers, applications that are readers of your data. Basically the same application, just on different hosts. With an intelligent proxy to send the mutations all to the host that is a writer. Yeah. Been chipping away at this for, goodness, since I stopped streaming. Well, since my last stream, let's say it that way. And it's taken a while, but it's good. Keeps me off the streets. Actually, I want to change this to 3 so that it matches the database directory. Okay. Good. I would like to get it to the point where the applications could be written in WebAssembly, and they just run on the stack. You take away basically the goal is to make scalable architectures easy. Oh yeah, I've been using Zed mostly because Copilot and this other stuff doesn't work well in NeoVim or Helix. So yeah, I'm back to using Vim bindings. I'm in Zed. I like it. It's quick. It's sleek. It doesn't bother me. Kind of gets out of the way. It's configured mostly how I want Visual Studio configured. I do like having the, I don't think I have it running, but um, Olama running locally. But I haven't found that they're really great at writing a bunch of code for me. I've found that the most help I get from like AI is just a more intelligent, dare I say intelligent, please forgive me, autocomplete. I feel like it's adding the intelli to IntelliSense. Okay. So we should run 3 data planes. Cargo run data plane dash dash P data plane. Let's do this 3 times. All right. Listening. Good. The checksums are all different. It's great. Um, Proxy. Let's see if we can connect. Lovely. Oh, this is great. Okay. And then if I kill one of these, then we get the proxy updated. And it keeps trying to connect because we have a fixed set of connections. But now it would not send traffic to that connection. I can set it up again. And it's happy. I don't know why it's starting a resolver over and over again. That's strange. Proxy detect one fix 50. Proxy detect. Ah, so it looks like something in here is failing. We sleep for, I think it's a second or 5 or something. But then we start the resolver. We look for DNS changes. We get some changes. And then, well, it loops again. It feels like this starting resolver shouldn't be as part of the loop. It should be up here. Otherwise, whenever we get more IPs, we log. I don't really care about that. Okay, that's a good change. Well, this is cool. Okay. I want to maybe automate a little bit of this. I need some water. Just a moment. All right. So I've been using it's over something. I forget what it's called. Terminal over mind with a proc file. So we only have one proxy now. Config is dev proxy.yml. Yep. Let's move that up to the top. Data archive. There will be one of those. Cluster management. That's, I think, gone now. It's going to live with proxy. Data plane. Its config is /dev/ whatever number is /data plane.yml. Okay. The app is notes at the moment. And that's fine. I wonder if that even runs. Let's see. Adelphus. I am currently at a light theme. I ended up working outside for most of the summer. And it's very hard to see a black screen with little bits of white text on it in the sun. Much easier to see black text on white. It's where I am at the moment. I did enjoy working outside. Need a better setup though. I had decided to just work on the deck in the sun, the laptop out there. It was nice. I was I was actually surprised at the number of ladybugs late in the summer. They were everywhere. They were absolutely everywhere. You know, I actually put it to light to start the stream. I wasn't sure. Because I had been in dark mode just earlier today. Uh-oh. Could not compile cluster management. Who told you to compile cluster management? I wanted notes. How do you just compile notes? Cargo run Well, good old build times. Here, this is what I'm listening to. Brace yourselves. There we go. Some big band.
No, my turret.
I used to play jazz. I did alto saxophone and baritone sax. As of late, I've been playing double bass, stand up bass, learning that. Yes, I really don't want to have to fix cluster management in order to. Do I need cluster management? I haven't thought about that in a while. Where's my architecture doc? README, proc, cluster. Did I put it in like a docs directory? Oh, wow. That looks special.
Big turret. Yeah, we can destroy. See. Oh, those? I don't know. Oh yeah, we can.
Here we go. So this is what it looks like. What I'm going for. So you have these two different machines or multiple machines. Right? The one on the right could be replicated 1,000 times. That's fine. But the one on the left is the only writer. The one on the right is n number of readers. So we have an intelligent proxy, which just connected to the data plane on some quote unquote pseudo boxes. I just started more than one process on an IP, on a port. Data plane monitors the SQLite databases, and we'll send data to data archive. I haven't figured out what to do with cluster management. If we scroll down, my older designs had proxy and kind of this cluster manager on each box. Did I call it melody? It's going with the whole music and reverb kind of feel. Um, yeah. Oh, cluster manager kind of appeared here. And I kept trying to extract things. I want less running on each box. So then I pulled cluster manager out to the bottom. And now we're at this point. I don't remember what the difference is. Oh, and one proxy. So I extracted proxy out from the previous revision to this revision. So really, on each box only exists the application and the data plane. And then, is this open source? Not yet. I always start off at the same place. Like, I want to retire someday, you know. So maybe this will make me money. Um, but this is the design I'm going for. Having a server that can keep this data archive. Well, I call it data archive, but it's the mechanism to kind of broadcast data to all of the readers from a writer. It would also manage accepting only one uh, source of truth during, let's say, network fragmentation, or excuse me, partition. Um, It does add a bit of a single point of failure here, but I imagine that this data archive down at the bottom could have, siblings. And it could maybe have something over here and over here in case the one data archive fails, everything can fail over to another one. So, cluster manager down here at the bottom. What do we do with you? One writer, all the others are read only. Yes, that is currently the case. Um, I imagine that there will be places where we might want some sort of queue available, and while there isn't a queue in this, there could be one, and that so a reader might be able to emit some sort of stats or interesting information that gets collected by the reader and fed back into the system, um, or it's done in a completely different way. You see, I've been following this other project. It still seems to be pretty young. What's it called? It's called Iggy. Rust Mace, of course. Message streaming reimagined. And so I imagine as I get further and further along, I'll look at this again and determine how message streaming could be added using something like Iggy. They do not currently have. Oh, let's see. Current goals. Replication. Yeah. So I would really want replication. Without a doubt, being able to run your infrastructure as a cluster gives much more confidence, yada yada. Started experimenting with it. So I would look towards Iggy before something like Kafka. But that's the idea, is kind of build out my stuff to the point where I can build simple things on it, and then when needed, add something like Iggy or streaming. And I want it to the point where, and this is really, really important to me, that when you write an app for this, you write an app and maybe set a config, and then the stack takes care of everything else, right? Just use SQLite, app local, and then you deploy it to Reverb, whatever I call this, and this takes care of everything else. Sharding, replication, high availability, all that. Ooh, open telemetry. Kind of like what Cloudflare has. There is one difference though. One difference. Cloudflare lets you basically use um, the Cloudflare worker sandbox for your application. I want you to write it in anything. If you're a Java person, write Java. If you like Spring Boot, whatever, use that. If you like Ruby on Rails, use that. I I don't want to mold you into the box. I want the box to work around you and to accentuate what you're doing. But yeah, this is what, and I've looked at it though. I've looked at worker D that Cloudflare open sourced, and I really, really thought hard and long about this, but I ended up rejecting the idea of putting WASM here or Cloudflare Worker D. What would the platform offer then? Scalability, replication, fault tolerance, logging, tracing. I just put your application in the platform and it goes. Use simple technology, let us handle the rest. That's the idea. So that's the big idea, right? And currently I have a proxy more or less working. It works in two modes: local development and DNS. Right? Um, DNS is not very well tested. I haven't deployed that yet, but I think having a quick and nice development cycle for myself is very important. So I'm not using Docker. I'm using Overmind with a proc file so that I can easily set up what looks like a cluster. Right? Oh yeah, just file. It makes it much, much quicker. So I could do something like just run or, and then using my just file, it builds and then it runs Overmind. Overmind, yes. Oh, you've never heard of Overmind. You are in for a treat. So, if you ever like just follow stuff that Evil Martians build, they have so many cool little tools. And Overmind is one of them. It's, let me toss it up. There's a link. Um, it basically, yep, very similar to what you can do with Tmux or Foreman. I actually remember using Foreman, goodness, a decade ago. Um, but Overmind is like a bigger, better version of it. Um, it uses Tmux behind the scenes. It's written in Go, and um, yeah, it just for me makes development simpler because I don't have to run 50 Docker containers, or let's say, let's look exactly at what I'd have to run. I would have to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 Docker apps to simulate this and set up a whole bunch of Docker config when I could just use my local networking. I just have more than one process running. Like just run more apps. Right? So um, I really like to have efficient local development. Um, Slowing down development for any reason just kills projects. And yeah, I'm not a big Docker fan because of it. It's mostly because it's hard to make Docker efficient and fast. I even have this dummy um, in here for when I build Docker. It just has all of my workspace things in here so that I can have everything in the workspace built before it builds anything else. And that's it, just to make Docker faster. Um, hmm. Oh yeah. All right. I'll have to go change that now. Um, but just one moment.
Yes. And no. Primary objective was completed. That's all you need to know.
All right. I'm a little off my game. I had to go and delete my little secret access stuff for Tigris, my build system. So that's all deleted now. Um, oh, sure, I'll install that. No. Where did we go? Yeah, it's all better. Um, but we looked over the architecture diagram and cluster management. I'm just going to disable that for a bit. Let's look at cargo. Comment that out. See, it's still building cluster management. Why? Did I save? Saved? Cannot compile that because of why? It's gone there. Oh, here. Huh. Well, who is using cluster management? Cluster management is. That's great. Oh, the examples do. Well, no wonder. Okay. Notes. Ah, yes, I changed all this. This is just a little dummy placeholder for applications, right? Just a little notes app that is supposed to let you write a note and then see the notes that have been written. Something to test out the proxy and replication. Something really simple. For appdb-dir. Which config file are we loading here? env? What is in env? have one ENB. Reverb base port. Let's add reverb app port equals 8181. Okay. And let's change that to the code. Oh, no, we want that. Um, load extension. Huh. Okay. Cargo build. HP. What did I call it? VFS? It's my SQLite plugin. That one took me like 3 months of poking around to get it to load correctly. What's whatever? Ah, yes. So, so whatever happens in multiple places. I think anyhow has a whatever function. Snafu has whatever. It's the error that you don't really care. It's like, oh, whatever. Right? Like in this example here, oops, I'm using whatever, and let's see. Okay, I'm not actually using whatever here, but in notes, I think I was. Yeah, whatever context. So you get an error, it boxes it up, adds a little message to it. So if something does fail, like I think we saw before, um, thread main panicked. Oh, this is a previous one. But basically, it just wraps an error for you, so you don't have to create a special type for it. Usually useful in, let's say, applications and not libraries. All right. Oh, previous error. Ah, yes. Yes, yes. We changed this just a moment ago. We need the location of where the databases will be stored in order to know where to put the FIFO file. Um, hmm. As this is part of the plugin, the VFS plugin to SQLite, there isn't an initialization like structure that you can give it. It could wait until a database file is loaded and then do this. Because that would tell us the path. Or we set an environment variable. We could do something similar to what we did before. Do that. I've taken a liking to this error library called Snafu. Every file basically has its own error types defined, and you can nest them. You can make them transparent. You can do all sorts of things with it. Okay, that built. We just need to make sure that, yeah, you feel so out of the loop with all the new stuff. I agree. Stuff has been changing so quickly that I feel like I have to like practice coding just to stay up to date, which really is going to been the goal for all of my projects. Just stay up to date, stay in the loop. Okay. Our VFS built. Let's try to run the example again. Ah, goody. Okay. So the example runs. Let's see. Cargo build. Does everything build? Only 609 dependencies? We could do better than that. 800 should be easily attainable.
I don't like the high explosive barrage for this one. I prefer having an area just locked down with fire and
The other, the app that I'm trying to build out to put inside of this, um, is basically that WordPress alternative I had been working on. Um, I want to just build that out and make a WordPress alternative that would sit inside of this. I think that could get pretty cool. That maybe some some forums, that sort of thing. That would be a pretty good timing. Yeah. I think the challenge would be, to make it stick, you'd really have to have like a WordPress exporter and importer. And that is an insane amount of work. I'm going to consume one of these little chocolatey Kit Kat things that the kids brought me earlier. Hmm. Oh, there we go. First time I left myself on mute because I was eating candy. Basically, I had upgraded Foundations, which is a crate from Cloudflare. I like the idea of having just like a common framework that you build things on top of.
As I stop at an objective.
Why is it doing it again? Rock file. Run.
Look at this. We got
I thought I built everything. So why is it doing it again?
mini div. Oh yes.
Okay, so we'll run proxy and data archive, then 3 data planes and 3 apps. Right, cluster management's disabled, and we're not looking for leaks at the moment. What is it compiling, Miss Jaeger? Compiling proxy, come on.
Turret dropped into the wall and died in.
All right. Well, everything stopped. Why did you all stop? Let's run it one more time to see. Did it fail to build? Compiling. Oh. Unexpected argument config file. Oh, that's right. That's not config file anymore. For proxy, it's just config. Data archive is just config. I don't know. Guessing on that one. Data plane and app. I didn't change app. Let's see. I feel like I should be not using cargo run to execute these. I should be using the just file to build, and then I should be pointing to the target dir to actually run these. Okay, we've got some warnings. Result that must be used. Why?
It's not useful in our situation.
Go build. Everything works. Great. Then what is failing? I neglected to see what was actually failing. Interrupting. I'm not seeing. Oh, here. Data archive exited with code 1. There's data archive. Oh, here. Yay. Invalid type. Interesting. Oh. Oh. How about we just comment out data archive for now? It's halfway, it's being ported. Um, let's look at a proc file. Data archive. Yes, I'm also using Pingora. It's kind of nice. It's really nice. Right, I want this to just run to see it work. Okay, it's still, whatever. Warnings, warnings. See, these aren't errors. Warning, 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 warning.
The mortar's trying to kill me.
Oh, here. Unexpected argument. Proxy. So there's dot? Did I forgot a space. There we go. Okay. Good, good. Okay, apps have started. This is the VFS. So you see some low level stuff. The proxy, it's kind of going. Now, the proxy isn't going to actually direct traffic, or rather, it should not direct traffic because this should have been a 513 or something. 502, fine. Because none of the data planes are saying, hey, I'm ready. Okay, so the proxy says, we can't do this. Read only upstream peer, no writers. There's nobody to send this to. This message should be better. I think you can configure it to do that, to restart processes that error out. I don't use it that way. I would rather everything crash so it gets my attention. I'm just using it for development, not production. So true in this case means the request is safe. Sent to a reader. There are no writers to omit. And in this case, there happen to be no readers. Okay, it's fine. Let's go ahead and trick it. We're going to modify data plane to think that everything is good. Now, when the data plane loads, what is it? We create this here and say is leader true. Let me just duplicate this. There. We're going to make all of them a leader, which means that they will all ask for the ability to have the rights. We will also say that they're ready. Control C, run it again. We got a bad gateway again. Okay. Oh, you know what I could have done? Let's do this. Let's take this. And then we'll say status setter send. Oh, great. That worked really well, except for maybe this question mark at the end. Okay. And I want to change my proc file to not use cargo run. So where is targets debug proxy? Okay, target debug proxy. Target debug. Oh no, I got the last one wrong. There we go. Hmm. Unfortunately, I combined the two. Target debug examples notes. Okay. Oops. All right. So now we do not run cargo, it just runs. If something bails, it's fine. Oh, we no longer need these double dashes. Great. Double. Okay, that starts up much faster. And I will use the just file to build and then start over mine. So I will say just run and it will compile and then start everything. Let's see, over mine. Yep, the build went fine. Okay. Oh, we got is ready, is leader true. Interesting. We still got an error. Oh, is this because we're failing? We're failing the health checks? We might be failing the health checks. So the example, where are you? Notes, slash health slash check. Okay. And then for proxy, slash health slash check. This is just a header. And the application port 81, 82, and 83. Oh, is it started up that way? 83, Reverb app port. Okay. Looks like it should be there. Let's see if it localhost 8181. There's that. Great. Yeah, we get an okay back. All right. So there's something wrong with the proxy detecting it. Connecting to. All right. Where would we find this? Let's see. App resolver. We're using fixed, and it seems to be finding the data plane. But after it finds data plane, that's not continuing. Detect app hosts. Let's see. Frequency resolver. Cluster membership. I think I need a little bit more logging through this. Let's set the logging on proxy to be trace level. Oh, it is. We are seeing that it should be in here. So is it a safe request? Meaning, does it mutate? If it mutates, it is an unsafe. In this case, we get the writer. This is the best thing that AI has done. It just auto completes that for me. I actually want more. Is leader. So this is what we get before those the data planes start up. That's a bit expected. These errors, connection refused. That's fine. It keeps trying. But we're not getting these log statements. Okay, so somewhere between getting the response and modifying cluster. So who calls this? Update cluster membership. Do we just not get any of these messages? Let me change the order that I start these in my proc file. Let's see. I think proxy I should move to the bottom. Data plane, yeah, towards the top. Okay. I'm not seeing other proxy messages.
They were used.
Data plane, proxy.
Use what weapons you have available. Yeah.
Could these errors be causing it to fail?
Yeah, the new. It was the first thing we loaded.
They're not supposed to. See, these things are supposed to loop. They're just, they do this forever. You get down to the bottom, you sleep, you do it again. Oh. Send all. Is this failing? What do we do with the errors? Log. Oh, and I want to turn down the logging. And these. Tower, tonic, FSCR, blah, blah, blah. Oh. I'm glad to be moving away from the environment files. It feels much more structured and correct to have it inside of individual config files. Okay, these errors are just noise. I wanted to be able to see those messages easily. Data plane. Starting. Data plane's fine. It's like it's not even getting to that point. Do we get this? T : stream result? We do. And then that's debugged here. Must be what that is. Oh, maybe we should continue if this result is an error. we probably fall into this and just don't ever do anything because the stream is broken. So we create a stream. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Sure. We still want to sleep for 5 seconds and then try again.
Yeah. Helldivers don't know how to swim.
Hmm. Something's odd here. I'm going to add some debugging. Log. I still learning the key bindings. I'm still doing Helix key commands.
Surprise.
All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, status client line 59. Okay. We have A, B, A, B, A, B, and then it connects. Why did it never hit C? Oh, because we do this 3 times. We go A, B for each of the hosts. Does stream never resolve? Yeah, it's a trait, I know. Oh, I did do that. But it was the same thing. Okay, this never would have worked. The idea here is that it would start up a task, a Tokyo task, and here's the debug message that we're seeing up above. These guys here. And it would just keep doing this. It would just forward on the message whenever it received one. So as long as everything worked, it would send the message. Yes, it never should have awaited. So if we put this back, like so, and we skip the await part, and we don't use the handle, let's try it now. So now this should start its own little process. Well, say process, its own little future that runs in the background. We're seeing we got to E. Lovely. Okay. How far is E? And we did not get an error. We got to E. So this should forward everything forever. Okay. Let's see. Oh, the proxy worked. Port 9090, it went through the proxy and hit one of the other pieces. All right. Let's look at the timings. It takes a millisecond. How do we benchmark this? I want W. Is it WRK dash C? I don't know. 30 duration 15 seconds. Threads. Or there we go. We'll see how this goes. Only 38,000 requests per second. Disappointing. Well, I think it'll work. It's not doing anything. So it takes a millisecond. Well, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. That, and I'm streaming at the same time. The CPU is pegged in other ways. So, all in all, a success. Nice. I am surprised that this number is higher than I was expecting. What if we did 8181? This should be one Axum example that's just returning. What is that? What's it actually doing? It's doing next to nothing. Yeah. Okay. Here's our overhead. don't understand why there's such a disparity between these two. All good though. All good. All right, y'all. Well, we've been at this for, it's almost 4 hours now. I think I've gotten to a point where I'm content with the progress today. So I'm gonna call it. Good to see you too. 715209. And all y'all that are just lurking there. I haven't really looked at the list today. Oh yeah. Got it. All right. Well, it's been good chatting. I don't know that I'm ever gonna do camera again. It's about just hanging out, having fun, coding, tech. You guys don't need to see this old mug. So, till next time, y'all. Take care.